Hello and welcome to the Feminine Millionaire Show. I'm your host, Polly Alexander. I'm a success coach, healer, creative and future millionaire. If creating money and success in a spiritual and feminine and joyful way is your goal, this show is for you. Let's all rise together. Hello and welcome to episode 65 of the Feminine Millionaire Show. 3 things Teddy Pom Pom has taught me about life. I am particularly excited to bring you this super fun episode about something that's very close to my heart, dog ownership. This is the perfect week to be bringing Teddy Pom Pom on the show, because it's his 5th birthday. So to give you a bit of background, those of you who don't know me are probably wondering, who is Teddy Pom Pom? Well, Teddy Pom Pom is my 3.5 kilo, small fluffy Pomeranian dog who is a total lovable ball of fluff, and he makes a frequent appearance on my Instagram stories. I actually adopted Teddy at 2 years old. And so I thought it would be fun to start with the story of how this came to be, because it's not just a story about adopting a dog. It's a story about acknowledging your heart's deepest desires. It's a story about making the impossible possible. It's a story about blasting through your own beliefs about what's possible for you. And ultimately, it's a story about love. So let's start by rewinding to 2019. I had hit my first 6-figure month in signed contracts in my business. I'd signed around $150,000 in signed contracts that month, and I headed off to the Hollywood Hills for summer, where I had rented a beautiful little home up in the hills. You might have heard me talk about this before. It was a gorgeous casita up in the hills with hummingbirds and a fountain in my little private garden. It was really magical up by the canyons. And whilst I was so happy to be there and so relieved my launches and my first live event had been a success, I wasn't as happy as I thought I would be. And I also carried the fear that the money wouldn't come in again, and I was not allowing myself to fully enjoy it and celebrate, as I now know is okay to do. I remember wanting to go to the Four Seasons in Santa Barbara for a couple of days, but it was a lot of money and I just couldn't allow myself to be worthy of that. So I was sat indoors on my bed in my little casita, and I thought, what's going to make me happier? What's going to make me happier than I am now? And I wrote this long list of what I perceived to be missing in my life that would bring me joy and happiness. And I just made a decision. I made a decision there and then to bring those things into my life by the end of the year. This was in August, so I had around 6 months. And we are not always in control of our timeline. The universe knows the best timeline for us, and it may not be what our conscious mind or ego wants. But what we can do is set the intention and then surrender to the process. And one of the things I set the intention to bring in was a dog. About 4 years before, I had lost my beloved English bulldog Lolo. I'd lost him early, 4 years old. I was devastated, and it took years to recover from the heartbreak. And at the same time, I was told by an animal psychic that he had moved on to give me the freedom to travel the world, the freedom to pursue my new path and to grow and develop. And he didn't want to hold me back. Just one of the reasons why I believe dogs are so precious and so special. So I'd travelled the world, I'd created my new business, I'd created this life with immense freedom. More abundance than I'd ever known before, more money than I'd ever known before, and more impact and fulfillment and joy than I'd ever known. And the idea of bringing a dog into this seemed just quite impossible, impractical. How on earth was I going to continue to move around the world, to host events, to coach clients with a dog in tow? I don't know if you can hear this, but Teddy Pom Pom is just at the door waiting to come in. He knows this episode is about him. One moment. Come in, Pom Pom. This is your episode. I think he wants to come and join us. Okay. Right, he's coming up. Teddy Pom Pom. Okay. Would you like to just sit here whilst I do the episode? There you go. Okay, we have the energy of Teddy Pom Pom with us today. You've got to be quiet because you're right by the microphone. Okay, we might have to edit this out later if you hear him snoring. So, he feels very special. He's never been able to sit on the podcasting booth before. This is quite a treat. This is your birthday treat. Okay, so there I was with this desire that I knew in my heart was true. I knew in my soul was true. And I could feel it was time to stop putting off what I really wanted. This was my true and authentic desire. And it was time to make it happen. It was time to stop putting other people first, to stop putting my mission in the world, my desire to help others first. And it was time to allow in a space to touch my heart, to give back to myself. And the way that I most wanted to do this was by bringing a dog into my life. And I truly believe that when something is your true and authentic desire and it's coming from your heart and your soul and your spirit, that there will be a way of things lining up to make it happen for you. There may be some beliefs to let go of. There may be some deep inner work or healing to do. There may be new actions and new ways of thinking to make it happen and allow it in. But deep down, I always believe it's possible. These desires are planted in us, not by accident. These are by intention. These are divine desires planted within us. So I researched breeds to see what would be a small dog that was confident, that I could potentially travel around with, and I made the decision to adopt an adult dog. I didn't want the training. I didn't feel I had the bandwidth, energy or time to do the training that's required with a puppy. And I also wanted to give an adult dog a new home. So I did some research. It sounded like a Pomeranian would be a good breed for me. And I found online that there's actually a Californian Pomeranian rescue. Yes, I love the States for things like this. You guys have got every base covered. So I got in touch with them. I started looking, and there was a dog that came into the organisation that looked like he could be a potential fit. Oh my gosh, I was so excited about this. I researched how to ship a dog from America to London, my next stop, and the way the adoption agency worked is that they would bring a dog in for a few weeks for a thorough assessment to understand and test its health, check its behaviour before they rehomed. And so you can hear little Teddy Pom Pom making little noises of contentment. He's very excited to be a part of this episode. This is not normally allowed. I'm actually holding his paw. He likes to have his paws held like a hand right now, and he's really happy and grateful to be with you all today. I've been told that Teddy Pom Pom is a healer and that he transmits love, and he knows he's here to be a healer. So please open your heart to this beautiful energy from Teddy Pom Pom that's being transmitted through this podcast. So we tried to make things happen with the Pomeranian rescue, but there wasn't time before I had to leave the US. I was out there on a tourist visa, which gives you 90 days as a British citizen. So I had to leave. So I picked up the search again when I got to London. And it turned out that there were actually quite a lot of adult dogs that needed, for one reason or another, to be rehomed. Teddy, would you like to go on the floor? Teddy's decided that podcasting is hot work and he's going to just go and relax on the floor. How very appropriate he would be here with us today. And so I briefed in Asana, my project management system. I briefed what my VA at the time said was the best brief she had ever received. Find me my Pom. And it didn't just say find me my Pom. It said find me my Teddy Pom Pom, because I had the name before I found the dog. If you follow me regularly, you will know that acting as if is one of the most powerful ways to manifest your desires. And you start to act as if it is absolutely 100% confirmed that your desire is becoming a reality. 100%. It is non-negotiable and it's going to happen. So you start acting as if it's on its way. So I downloaded the name for my dog, Teddy Pom Pom, and then I started going out looking for him. I'm pretty sure I ordered his white marble dog bowls as well before I got him. So I was searching online. I had a couple of false starts where we thought it was going to happen and then it didn't. And then I found a little dog online and I made an appointment to see him in a few days' time. By chance, I had a psychic reading with my wonderful psychic, Isabel Gatherer. I actually recorded an episode with Isabel, interviewed her for this podcast, and I will put a link to that in the show notes if you want to listen to it. Great episode. And Isabel said, that dog you're going to see, he's not going to be very friendly. She said, just to warn you, he is in a bit of a bad mood. And she said, but I think it's your dog. And I thought, gosh, how very strange, how curious. So I kept an open mind and I went to see the dog. And sure enough, this little tiny dog, he was 1.9 kilos. He was sat in the corner of the kitchen of his previous owners and he just scowled at me. He looked at me and he scowled, and then he turned around and turned his back. And I could see that the owner was rather embarrassed. Here they were trying to market the dog. It's a great dog. He's really friendly. He's the perfect dog for you to adopt. And he was having none of it. My feisty little Teddy Pom Pom was not going to be told what to do. And she was trying to get him to come over and say hello to me, and he wasn't having any of it. Eventually, after about 10 minutes, she coaxed him over, still scowling, still moody. And then he looked me in the eye and he smiled and he wagged his tail for about 3 seconds and went, hello. And then he went back deadpan to his previous behaviour. But in that moment, he showed me the spark that was inside. The spark that his current circumstances, his current family were not able to bring out of him, not able to see or support. And I knew that was within him, and I knew that I had the power to connect with that part of Teddy Pom Pom that was longing for expression, that was longing for love, longing for fun. I held him in my arms, little tiny nugget. In fact, we'll try and share the picture with you because I have a photo of that moment, and I knew that he was going to be mine. I was about to go away I was about to go away to attend an event in the US for a couple of weeks. So I wasn't going to be able to adopt him until I got back. I wanted to be fully present for our first few weeks together. So I paid the deposit and I left. Went off to America. When I came back, I went and collected him. And so began our journey. So moving on to today's topic. 3 things Teddy Pom Pom has taught me about life. Number 1, joy is in the here and now. Teddy Pom Pom lives in the moment. He knows that every moment is an opportunity for joy and happiness and an expression of love. And it is always available to us, no matter what the outside circumstances. This little ball of joy is always available to play, to laugh and to dance. If any of you have met him in person, you will know he loves to dance. Teddy Pom Pom is a dancer. I share this on my Instagram stories from time to time, so come follow me there at Polly_Alexander, link in the show notes. But he is such a source of joy and such a reminder to connect to joy in the present moment and that it's always available. Number 2, he's taught me there are many wonderful people out in the world to connect with. Some are just for a shared moment, a brief conversation. Others he has brought in for us to grow a friendship with. And I know that some of you will be listening to this right now. And I'm deeply grateful that Teddy brought us together. Teddy is very discerning about who he chooses to spend time with, who he wants to sit with, who he wants to be cuddled by and hang out with. And when Teddy is drawn to someone, I know that they're a special person and a good person. Quite simply, Teddy Pom Pom is my wingman, taking me out into the world, connecting me with people, and growing our circle of friends. And number 3, Teddy Pom Pom teaches us all to ask for what you need. Teddy Pom Pom goes up to total strangers, as I said, not just anyone. He's very specific and selective about who he wants attention from, and he chooses you. And when he goes up to a total stranger he's chosen, he demands they stroke his chest, which I realised is his heart area. He literally demands love, and in the process he gives love to them. He is a little healer and he opens up the flow of love. For me, Teddy Pom Pom has brought pure, unconditional love into my life in a way I've never known before. He is a constant source of joy and sweetness and connection. He's also taking me out into the world at least twice a day because I have to take him for walks. And he's brought structure to my life. So Teddy Pom Pom has become one of the greatest joys in my life. He's my companion through everything and my constant connection to love. He takes me out into the world and he slows me down. So if you're feeling called to bring a dog into your world and it's your heart's true desire, when the time is right for you, I invite you to allow it to be a truly magical experience. And all of you, and there are many of you in my clients and in my community that are already dog owners, I celebrate the joy and the love that's present in our lives. I truly believe that dogs and cats and other animals are God's gift to humans. Thank you for being here today, celebrating my little furry nugget Teddy Pom Pom, and his 5th year in the world. We love you lots. Thank you for listening to today's episode. We wish you a gorgeous week ahead. We are cooking up something really exciting. I can't say anything more for now, but it's time to start connecting in person. That's all I'm going to say. If you want to go deeper with me, I invite you to sign up for the Success Meditation. You'll find the link in the show notes. Have an amazing, abundant week, and I will see you again next week. Bye for now.